So we will command that only the most divine light shine down upon you at this time, and the greatest good be present here. We so enjoy being able to move through these energy fields with you as you come alive to who it is that you truly are. In the course of all of your days, whatever the details are, the focus into the lens is so intense and necessary in order to have this physical experience in the first place. So just the amount of energy that it takes to fuel your body into life is beyond description. What amount of compassion working with energy to incite consciousness to arise and then dance with the mathematics that are going to give you the mass, the earth, the experience of the earth. That energy alone is so enormous that it's no wonder when your body dies, it's as if you've been jettisoned at the speed of light squared into the universe, because that body is the key to experiencing the physical earth and the universe in that way. So we want to bring home the truth of the wholeness of who you are so that you can step away from the lens and all of that necessary focus and have a bigger perspective of what is really going on. Oh yes, there's the details and the soap operas and the great triumphs and the mighty defeats of the game on earth. All of that is always very dramatic. And certainly being that it is the manifestation of all that consciousness inciting with math to create mass, it's so important to step away, to get out of those dramas, into the real drama, into the real mystery. How does life begin? How does consciousness arise from energy being impelled by compassion? And more importantly, how much are you willing to execute your power over your domain? How far are you willing to expand your understanding of yourself past an intellectual description and into the truth that you, by way of compassion, are creating the entire universe? And our work with you, especially during these very ripe times for intentional creation, is to help you live in the world but not of it, by guiding you into the places in your body that your body knows to be truth. So as you feel all these parts of your operating system, the compilation, emotion, intuition, intellect, the hippocampus, the physical body, the entire lens being projected and perceived all the way out into the heavens, back up into the North Pole, this whole entire operating system, the more that we can bring you to it and have it resonate in your body, the more you can let the chaos of intellect fight itself, because within that intellect is a much greater truth than the inner conflicts or the triggers from the external ones. And that truth fills up the space. And we think that this is such a playground for you, And you're going to find more and more in the days and weeks and months ahead that you embrace that play, even in the darkest of times, or what appears to be losses. Whatever the drama on earth is playing out to be, whatever it is, it's a miracle. And it's a miracle that you have been given the opportunity to create a physical body and come and have a life here now. We don't want to see you waste your time, but we understand that part of the power is you finding your own power, you using your own free will to silence the voices of intellect that tell you lies. That's where your power lies. That's why you're here. So it's not just accomplishing the condition that you're looking for, which is alignment to compassion, which is where intellect is solely interpreting and waiting for intuition and then doing her bidding. Even in any other condition, you have the power. So as you think of this as your playground, understand that there are certain commitments you came here to do. And then the big long picture of whatever those are, why ever they happen, your only concern should be your relationship to it and to your truth and to the best of your ability to the wholeness of who you are, the entire operating system. And you just striving to do that is making a difference. Whether you can see it manifest in your lens or not, you striving to be compassion, embodied, committed to doing what's best for the whole, starting with yourself, caring for yourself as deeply as you possibly can, because that is the reflection that will manifest around you. And when you're in those places that are challenging, somehow embrace the challenge and know in a little while that challenge will be gone and there'll be new challenges. But none like this. None like this. So we would open for any questions or conversation you might want to have.
Thank you so very much for that beautiful meditation and discussion. I was imagining the gravity wave from the source through emotion, intuition, and intellect to the outer heavens and North Pole and back as a creative pulse. Could it be described as a pulse, like a continuing big bang, constant big bang happening over and over again?
Yes, absolutely. It is a constant Big Bang happening at the speed of light squared that's pulsing you into physical reality.
So the pulsing into reality, then, as far as the creative part, I'm understanding that in the source area, when we're in the compilation, it was said to focus on vibrating. Is there any, I know that we're just supposed to be being in there, but I'm wanting to, should I intend love and gratitude or anything in that vibration?
Always.
So then that will determine or influence the reality
Yes.
I experience. So as opposed to being in a fearful vibration, if I'm in a love and confident vibration, that will produce such a thing, whatever I'm vibrating at.
Yes. So if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
Boy, that gave me chills. All right. Okay. Thank you so very much.
Yes. And that is the purpose of life for humans, is to teach yourself to choose voluntarily, willingly love, whatever that means. If you're in the compilation and you're even processing fear, you still choose love. You see yourself as a child who's frightened from not knowing, And how would you love that child? You wouldn't tell it, no, you can't feel fear. You would take action to bring that child stability and contact and connection with the truth of the greater power, which would be you as a mother or father, what have you. So, yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Hello, thank you so much for both the channeling and the meditation. My question is about when we get to the point where we choose love instead of fear, and when we focus on our compassion and everything, is it then influencing our whole life? It feels like that. So it would maybe influence our relationships with others, but also our relationship with ourselves, with our bodies, with our cells in our body. At the same time, when we create outside in the world and manifest outside in the world, our plans, our intentions, our everything, we can create inside our bodies and influence ourselves in that positive, creating, loving, compassionate way. Is it like that?
Yes. Think of it from the inside out, in that if you follow the wave from the compilation up through into the lens, into the physical body, and then outside the lens going back up into the North Pole, etc., that part of it. This part of the wave is pure truth. It's the cells that you're talking about in your body that you're influencing are beginning on the level of emotion. So the influence to those cells starts on that part of the wave, and then as it flows up and creates the physical world, those cells are informed by that part of the wave. What you're talking about is an intellectual understanding and, in a way, an intellectual execution that everything is already absolutely perfect and powerful, but it's those pieces of the intellect that wonder or doubt or define it differently that then are part of the fractal that create that conflict, so to speak, in the physical world. So everything is perfect until it gets up into that intellect. And then what you're talking about, the work you're talking about, is not actually changing so that you're always intending, but that you're adjusting that intellectual part of you that doubts and limits and somehow in those times says, who do you think you are? And no, you can't do that, because that's very natural. So the actual intention could be just to remove any intellectual obstacles to the truth, because everything else on the wave is the truth of that power. It's hard for humans to look out at the world and see, especially if you're in this beautiful place, you're looking over the water and the sun is setting and the majesty of creation is before you. And it's hard for you to see that you're doing, that you're creating that. It's always a dance between the microcosm, the macrocosm, and then what intellect ultimately is or is not doing to you.
Yes. Yes, I understand. Thank you. So actually, the intellect is, yeah, it's an instrument to be able to live in our material world, but it's in a way a brake, like a brake in a car. So it's more stopping us than speeding us up or expelling us into new heights, I think sometimes. Sometimes
Yes.
it's just a break for us.
Yes, and it's perhaps the only real part of the system that needs any adjustment.
Yes.
And
Okay.
it's important adjustment because for years and human lifetimes, people have been making decisions in that realm from an emotion of fear. And that's where the manifestations come in. But as you said, if you get out of your way and you accept truly, deeply, and train your intellect to align so deeply to the idea that you're co-creating, and you've been sent here to feel everything as deeply as you possibly can and embrace it in your body and change the thinking around it. But even that originates in intellect, because your intellect will decide if you're going through an emotional abscess. Your intellect will decide if you sit and feel and breathe, or if you beat yourself up because what's wrong with you, or if you go have a bunch of whiskey so you don't have to feel it anymore. The intellect does that.
So the intellect is making the choice what action to take.
Yes.
And yeah, and we always have the choice to react or to sit and observe and just breathe through it, or put a different intention to the action that we continue with.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Very cool. Thank you. Thank you.
It
Yeah.
really brings it down to a smaller world of what needs to get done. When you were asking about intentions, of course, intending in the compilation,
Yeah.
to fully intend to train that intellect.
Yeah, I understand. I talked about intentions, but not in the way you speak about intention. So
Yes.
yeah. Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. We will close the channel at this time by saying that each and every time that you can move your focus into the unity of your energy, feel beyond just thinking the wholeness of the operating system. You take a step into evolution. You help humankind take another step into evolution. You become an example and a leader by being that evolutionary person who is making a conscious choice to use your free will to align to compassion as the greatest good. And when you do that, at that root level, so many things take place. By the time that intention and that wave get into the manifestation of the earth, the body, so many areas are influenced that you'll never see. So keep up the focus and the growth and the deepening of the truth. And trust us, you'll only need to watch and be amazed. Namaste.